Hi, and welcome to day 35 of 365 Days of Art. I have day 34 behind me where my moon picture came out not quite to my liking, so I'm gonna jump at it again today. I've chosen a picture that has just some gorgeous, softer colors in it. A little bit of a headache today, so I'm thinking very soft, muted tones today, and just keeping it very light and airy. I'm going to try a little bit of a different process today, same style of finger painting, but I think this time to get my moon edges correctly and not mess them up is I'm going to try to lay down that background layer first, and then I'll come back in over top and put in the hard lines of the moon. But I'm hoping that I can lay down most everything else first and get that very fluid effect that I've really been enjoying. That being said, let's paint. Here we go. I'm still using Arteza acrylics today, and I'm going to fast forward through this because I was just laying down a base layer of white to mix my colors into. You wouldn't want to do that if you want to keep the vibrancy of your colors, but I knew I was going for a very muted tone today, so I didn't mind getting them mixed into that titanium white. I actually wanted that to calm my colors down a little bit. If you wanted really rich, vibrant colors, I would just lay down the base layers first, kind of like I did in yesterday's video with the brown and the black. And of course here you can see you want to make sure that, especially painting with your fingers, just like you would wash off a brush, make sure that you're wiping off and washing your fingers in between applying the different colors. Obviously, with the way that I'm doing this, I do end up swirling my colors together a little bit, but to keep those clean colors on, the very edges, you want to make sure that you wipe your fingers off, otherwise you're just going to muddy them up. And I applied a little bit too much of that pink at the bottom there. I didn't want it quite that heavy. And that's another thing. I'm obviously using a decent amount of paint here to be able to swirl it around on the page. But on that top, I got that super airy effect because I used a lot less paint. I applied a little too much at the bottom, and I can kind of fix that with the white, but it still definitely gives a different feel than what I had going on the top, which in this case is totally fine because the top is air and the bottom is water, so we want them to look different in the end anyway. I haven't perfected it, but a lot of what you see me doing with all these different colors, this kind of swirling motion, it's just very meditative. It's kind of perfect. You just swirl your fingers back and forth, almost in the infinity sign. And I'm pulling out the palette knife here. I'm kind of done with most of my finger painting at this point, and this is where I want some harder lines. A little reflection. You can see up in there, I didn't show you guys, there's that dot up in the sky, and essentially I just put that there to remind me where the moon was going to be so that I could decide where my reflection was going to fall on the water in the page. And there we go. Yeah, I didn't do the hard line like I thought it. I just kind of had a hunch, and I was just playing, to be honest, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that, so I stuck with it. I think it gives it that really wonderful diffused light that wasn't in the reference photo, but that's why it's a reference photo. You don't have to follow it exactly. You can make creative decisions and just do whatever you want. I'm obviously not going for realism here anyway. This is just fun. I wish you guys could see that a little more clearly. A lot of this is pretty subtle here with the palette knife. I'm dragging some of the color, but then I'm also tapping just super lightly with color on the edge of my palette knife just to put it on the page, because if you press too hard, you're actually digging into your other colors, and I didn't want to do that. Defining my shoreline just a little bit more, and this is where I'm just playing around and having fun, so don't be afraid to just do whatever. It's your painting, and this is where I'm becoming more confident in using the palette knife. You can see I was very gentle with it at first, kind of very sparse lines, and that's originally why the reflection on the water looked a little out of place, but here at the very end result, it blends really well with the rest of it, and it looks a little more intentional, And that's because I added a lot more paint to the bottom and I wasn't shy with my palette knife. Where you can remind yourself, sometimes you just gotta go for it. It's like when I go figure skating. And I really love ice skating, but I'm really terrified the first time I put on my skates of the season, and I'll go out on the ice and start to skate a little bit, and I actually make myself fall down to remind myself that it's not scary, that if I fall, it doesn't hurt that bad. No, I'm not falling on pillows, but it's really not as bad as I think it is. And then from there, I go from being really slow and shaky on the wall to zipping and zooming all over the ice, because I've remembered that, hey, falling is okay. You dust yourself off, get back up, and keep on having fun. And that's really just what I'm doing here when I'm painting. All right, that wraps us up for today. This was nice and calm and just fun, and I know I ended up not doing what I thought I was going to do with the moon and getting my hands in there anyway. I'll still probably play with some layering, but I am still happy with how that came out. A much softer, gentler approach that I really appreciate. So let me know what you guys are up to down in the comments. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!